Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow, episode 4, a Cornish Let's Play series, as we dive back into the latest expansion, or the latest continuation, I should say, of the Scarlet Hollow story. Jason and his associates Kanika and Avery are continuing their hunt for Stella. They've been to her house, they've been to the police station, and they are currently checking up with Pastor Daniels as at the local church. But things may be afoot, and we shall see. I shall see you all in a second. Your friends head off towards Jenny and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I'm so glad you decided to I'm so glad you decided to come up to visit me, says Pastor Daniel. So many young people these days seem to think they can solve all their problems on their own. Meanwhile, God is right there, ready to help them, if only they'd let him into their hearts, he says. The pastor's eyes dart back towards the alpacas. Okay, good, they're gone, mutters the pastor as his smile drops. You're new in town. What kind of impression do I make on you? Am I creepy? Asks the man. Let's see. I think I'm going to probably go for the trait option, which is, I think your problem is you keep telling people what to do instead of actually treating them like human beings. You say. Like, have you tried inviting folks fishing or hiking? Have you tried throwing a party, or do you just hand people pamphlets and tell them to think about the big man upstairs? That would require people to want to do things like go fishing with me, says Pastor Daniel. I have put in all the effort, you know. Jenny is excellent at making friends, but they've all made it clear they're her friends, he says. They try to avoid me whenever possible. I'm sure they've even suggested she divorce me. I don't know why it's so hard. I don't know what's wrong with me, says the man. Oh no, now I sound bitter. I'm sorry. It's just that it's never been like this for me before. I had plenty of friends all throughout school, he mutters. It's like Scarlet Hollow itself just wants me gone. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Tulip, come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods, says Pastor Daniel. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good, or are we going to skip story time tonight? Says Daniel. I'll be good, says Tulip. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go and help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed and you can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment. 1 second, folks, sorry. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just now. She's been trying to run off into the woods a lot lately, and it's real dangerous, even for adults, says the pastor. There's this massive trash dump not far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and looks like a part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusted cans and broken glass. Tulip made some imaginary friends and keeps telling us that they wanted to go out there, like the word of some fictional creature she made up is going to convince us it's a good idea for her to play in somebody's old garbage. But she's 7, and of course she would get some funny little ideas like that. I'd love to get the community to rally around a big cleanup. It's about time somebody got rid of all that junk. Oh, Tinnitus Lake, you say. Stella told me about it. Tinnitus Lake. That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would only make it sound more alluring. How big a trash dump are we talking? Would a weekend of hard work clear it out? Maybe if we had construction equipment and a team of professionals, says Daniel. It's a big area, and I have no idea how deep it goes. In the meantime, I'm just making sure Tulip knows not to go near it. What was that you were saying about imaginary friends? Oh, she's just been talking about the friends of hers lately, little stories about creatures that live in the church. I'm sure she saw some animal and then decided it was her friend, says Daniel. It's nothing to be overly concerned about except the trash heap situation. I really hope that's not ditchlings. Probably Jason is probably worrying about it being ditchlings at this point. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Jenny. Jenny says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we better get going. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Jason. We got to feed the alpacas. They were so cute and soft, it was awesome. And Jenny says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners, and a few extras for me, of course. Hope your talk with the pastor went well, says Kanika as he shoots you a worried glance. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if you weren't able to under the best circumstances. I'll let you all be on your way, says the pastor. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man up for her. Alright, thanks. See ya, says Kanika. Kanika and Avery start back down the part of the town you follow. So, what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent on talking to you alone, says Avery. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? Inquires Kanika. Nosy, aren't you? Let the man have his privacy. He wanted to know why everyone in town thinks he's creepy. Everyone in town is so mean to him. He's a nice guy. Let's go with that one. Tulip apparently made some weird imaginary friends, you say. We might want to check into it later this week. Kids making up imaginary friends. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time, says Kanika. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? Yeah, but the problem is, I would counter that argument, and probably Jason would counter it by saying, the problem is we've got monsters lurking around town, so imaginary friends may be a lot more dangerous than we could give them credit for. Before you can suggest your next move, you start to feel woozy. Spots form on the edge of your vision. Your legs suddenly feel unstable. Your body sending you clear signs of exhaustion. It pains you to imagine how difficult the effects of Charlie's deal would have been to manage for someone less fit than yourself, if even your powerful body is struggling just to walk from place to place. You manage to shake it off before Kanika and Avery notice, but still, it won't be long before your aching muscles need to rest. Really happy that we had the powerful build for this. I wonder what it would be like for Jason if he wasn't so fit. You should plan your next move carefully. Okay, probably then what that means is that we're likely only going to get one place to go to visit. If the game is hinting that we'll probably need to rest, it means that we'll probably run out of exploring options. So we'll probably want to go to the mines, if nothing else, to talk to Tabitha. We should go to the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin. I can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do, mutters Kanika. You don't see it, says Avery. Oh, come on, the two of them have such a dynamic, you know. Classic dog and cat situation. Come on, I'll drive us, says Kanika. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourselves outside the Scarlet Mines. There's a small gathering of workers outside the entrance to the mines, picket signs in hand. Is this a strike, says Kanika. They're striking? There was a whole group of them talking about it in the diner yesterday. Seems like the collapse was the last straw for some folks. Good for them, but I kind of thought there'd be more of them, you know, mutters Kanika. I hope it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all of this. Don't worry, reassures Avery. I know these guys. Most of them are in the diner at least a couple of days a week. They'll be chill. Will they be chill talking to Tabitha's cousin, though? Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin, says Davis. You might had us fooled the other day, but word gets around fast. Let's go with that one. Because that's the thing that's really driving Jason. He wants to find Stella. Have you seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber, says Davis. She's the one on all the band and property posters, right? Says Smith. We haven't seen her, and we've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by. We'll make sure to keep an eye out, says Davis. How goes the strike? We thought we'd have more support. If the collapse the other night wasn't a tipping point, then what is it actually going to take for people to wake up and fight for what they're owed, says Davis. I know there's not a lot of us out here, but there's more of us at the diner, and there's more of us setting up a mutual aid. But once people see our follow-through, they're going to join up. This is only the beginning. Let me know if there's anything the general store can do to help, says Kanika. Anything you can think of, we'll take it. We need all the support we can get right now. What are your grievances, you inquire? We'd like competitive pay, 8-hour shifts instead of 12 or more, improvements to sick day and vacation policies, and a thorough safety inspection before any of us step foot underground again, adds Smith. That collapse is way too close to the active mine for me to feel safe down there until I know for sure I won't wind up buried under 2 tons of rock. We want to change things. There's no reason we should be treated like we're a disposable workforce, adds Davis. If we're the ones making her money, we should be making money too, not just scraping by, adds Smith. That's a lot of grievances. Working here seems tough, mutters Avery. Yeah, adds Kanika. You think Tabitha can even make those changes without the mines going under? I'm sure she can figure it out, says Kanika. I'm not saying she's not a bad boss. People clearly aren't happy with her. Replies Avery. But coal's getting used less and less, and I've seen that old Scarlet house. It's practically condemned. If she had money to spare, where's it going? I really don't peg you as someone who'd go to bat for Tabitha, says Kanika. I'm not. I'm just trying to go get the full picture here, and if the mines fail, I don't see how Aunt Winnie's diner doesn't fail with it. Okay, but that's the whole problem. A single family shouldn't be able to hold an entire town hostage. The workers need to have a say in the business, replies Kanika. Fair enough, mutters Avery. So let's see, that's it. Look, I need to talk to my cousin. I'll be happy to pass along your demands. Yeah, probably. The thing is, Jason is probably not going to get involved in this. I mean, he may pass along demands, but like that, at most, he's probably going to stay neutral because like he has no dog in this fight. So he's just going to back off. So that makes sense. Like, this is the thing. Like, if anyone was coming to this kind of situation, unless you're really opinionated about this kind of thing, most of you are literally just going to stay away from it. Let's go with that. I need to talk to Tabitha, you say. So you're saying you want to cross a picket line, says Davis? You don't have to literally cross the picket line to get inside. There's always the hole Rosalina used to sneak in the other day. Good old keen eye. Or we could just force our way through, but Jason is going to be more smart like that. You pull Kanika and Avery to the side and tell them your plan to sneak in. I guess that'll work, mutters Kanika, but I don't think it's a good idea for us to follow you in there. Yeah, says Avery. I've never really been sneaky, plus all the miners know me. I'd stick out like a sore thumb. We'll just wait outside by the van, says Kanika. You make your way to a hole in the fence and sneak into the mine. The industrial noises of the Scarlet mine are only a little quieter than they were 2 days ago. The trailer that serves as Tabitha's office looms above you on the hill. You walk to Tabitha's trailer and knock on the door. You wait for a moment. No response. You knock again. Oh, for the love of... Your cousin's voice echoes out from behind the door. Door swings open. Oh, it's you, says Tabitha. Should I go? Says Rodriguez. Yeah, and try not to get yourself noticed, your cousin mutters. Rodriguez pauses before he leaves. Whoa. What happened to you, he says as he looks you up and down. It's a Halloween costume, mutters your cousin. Really? Could have fooled me. Halloween's not till Monday, and that is some high-quality makeup work, mutters the man. It's a Halloween costume. Don't make me repeat myself. Yeah. Let's go with... It's probably going to be one of these two. He would say, do you have a minute? It's important. I don't care about the strike, I just came to see you. Yeah, the thing is, this whole sort of hidden thing with the whole that she's got basically somewhere on the inside of her. The thing is that Jason really doesn't care about the strike. Like, he may have an opinion, but he's more concerned about Stella. So it's going to be, yeah, he's probably going to say this. I don't care about the strike, I just came to see you. You entail, Jason says. Good. And we won't have any problems, says Tabitha. Rodriguez, I said you're dismissed, now get out of here. Okay, boss, says the man. The door clicks closed as Rodriguez leaves Tabitha's office. Tabitha heaves a heavy sigh. Please, just forget you saw anything, okay? I can handle this on my own. The thing is that, as Avery points out, that this whole situation is like really bad, and like Tabitha has made comment about how bad the situation is, like financially wise, and it's not really Jason's place to make comment. Like Jason probably wouldn't. Like he may say this, but at the same time, he's not going to undermine. Like the thing is, like he's not going to undermine Tabitha. At her place of work, it's not something that he would do. He may stand. The thing is, like, this is a business, and he has to run it as he sees fit. And yes, he could comment on it, but at the same time, I don't think he would really care. Jason is. He might throw that in. Like, I talked to some of the miners outside. Their demands aren't too bad. 8-hour assist by the pay and some time off. Oh, and they want to have a safety inspection. But that kind of thing costs a lot of money, and Jason knows that the family's not in a great state. So it's going to be. I don't think you actually have to do much in the way of strike break, and there really aren't many of them out there. But the thing is, like, she's really lacking confidence, so he's probably trying to reassure her. I'm not going to undermine you. We're good, Tabby, you say. Tabitha just goes silent. Thank you. I know I haven't given you many reasons to be kind to me, so I really appreciate you choosing to be that way. Even if I'm not very easy to get along with, mutters your cousin. I'm sure you didn't come all the way down here to talk about the strike. Why are you here? Don't get me wrong, it's nice to see a friendly face, but you shouldn't be up here. This is my battle to fight. Probably go like that one. Explore. Stella is still missing. We've been looking all over town for her, and don't have any leads. Keen-eyed, Tabitha groans with anxiety. You don't think Wayne, she mutters. That's what I'm worried about. You said yourself you didn't have it in him. There wasn't any evidence he'd been in her house or signs of struggle or anything. Let's go with that one. There wasn't any evidence that he'd been in her house or signs of a struggle or anything. How do we know she went home last night? Mutters Tabitha. She ran off in the opposite direction. She did. You explain. Seems like she at least went home to grab her jacket. Stella's been known to disappear for days while she's doing her videos, explain to your cousin. But I think we both know this is not what's going on. I'll see if I can figure something out. Yeah, probably Jason would say this one. Like, his focus is on finding Stella, and as much as, like, the thing is, like, he doesn't really care about the strike. Like, yes, it's an ongoing thing, but unless his cousin really steps out of line, he probably won't say anything, because, like, this is her job and her business and her responsibility. So he's got to focus on the thing that really matters, which is looking for Stella. I'm going to keep looking for Stella. I'll see you tonight, you say. Let me know when you find her, okay? I don't want to sit around worrying about her all night, says Tabitha. Tabitha's phone buzzes. I'll better get back to work. Stay safe out there, Jason. Call me if you run into any more trouble, but please don't go looking for any today, okay? See matters? I don't need you going missing too. She actually looks concerned. Probably because we aged so badly. You leave the office, closing the door behind you. You find Kanika and Avery waiting for you outside. You don't look like you found any new leads. It feels like we've done our due diligence here. Come on, I'll drive us back to town and we can figure out our next move from there. Where to next, says Kanika. As you consider your next move, your vision blurs again, but this time it persists. The weakness in your knees returns, your ears fill with static, and you can feel yourself swaying, unable to control your body. It seems the toll of the pact you made last night is finally catching up with you. Whoa. Don't look too good, you don't look too good, says Avery. Your body crumples to the ground. Oh shit, says Kanika suddenly. The general store's just around the corner. Let's get you inside. The bells of the general store jingle welcomingly as your companions drag you across the threshold. You can faintly make out the unintelligible mumbling of what must be voices, and then you fade out once again. You come to in a chair in the tea room. Sylvie sits across from you, a gentle smile of relief washing over her face as you regain consciousness. It's dark here, the sunlight filtering through the heavy curtains weak and watery, partially supplemented by the bright glow lights over the plant in the corner. The bright grow lights, I should say. Welcome back. It's just two of us here. Welcome back. It's just two of us now. I'm afraid Avery had to go help out at the diner, and Kanika is getting some much-needed bed rest upstairs. I went ahead and made you some tea, dear. It should help a bit with your condition. Your eyes drift down to the cup of freshly brewed tea in front of you. It smells like citrus with an undertones of decaying earth. It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. Don't expect it to change your grey hairs back, but at the very least, it should make it easier for your mind and spirit to adjust to some of the physical changes you've gone through. Hopefully, you'll be a little less exhausted, and a little less prone to passing out. And when you've finished, we can use the leaves for a reading, on the house of course. Until then, why don't we just have a chat? You take the tea, sip it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavours into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow, you inquire? Oh, my family's been in the hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folk could afford. They had to figure out their own medicine. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavoury tales of my mum's youth. I most certainly did, says Sylvie, though I might have exaggerated a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Paulina was a lot like your great-grandmother Edwina, which is to say she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other scarlet, so her family chose her as their punching bag, made her into quite the rebel. So her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite a rebel. Why were Paulina and my mum raised by Edwina? What happened to their mother? Their entry into the world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. Just how young was she? She didn't survive the labour. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwina never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family. What about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwina took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall their name. His name might have been Stuart, or something just as forgettable. And what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it. What with skipping town and all. I think basically there's a spelling mistake. Probably she means Paulina. At some point, because she mentions Vivian twice. What happened when my mum found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else, mutters Sylvie. But she seems convinced he was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. Let's go with that one. What's with all this mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it, you say. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help give me a full picture. You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it. The small empty cup save for what's left of the rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Sylvie wasn't lying when she said it would help your condition. You still feel aged and worn, but you're a little less tired and a little more mentally sharper than you were a few minutes ago. Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do some good, if it's one of my own medical blends. Now, on to business. Sylvie takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've just got about every warning that can fit into the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of those mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and wherever any of us can do to stop it, I'm not sure. But we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here, a cat, an enemy lurking in plain sight. So you have options. Actual cats, and then it's people that we know. Tabitha, Wayne, Stella, Kanika, Oscar, Daniel, Dr. Kelly. But Jason is always going to be... The thing is, he's probably got his back up about Sylvie, to be honest, because he knows a lot more than she's been letting on. I do know that you're not the cat, I'm going to say, but then your brain says to you, that's ridiculous, Sylvie is helping you. And if she was the cat, Why would she warn you about herself? Pick someone else. Okay, I've never had that in the game before. Normally, whenever you pick a dialogue option, unless it's exploring, it pushes the dialogue forward. And I've never had one where the game counteracts a decision that we've basically said by saying that can't be the choice. Yeah, so basically Jason's brain is telling him that his instincts are wrong. Could be Wayne, could be Stella, could be Oscar, could be Reese, Avery. Someone hiding in plain sight. Probably going to be someone like Wayne. Cat could be Wayne, you say? Let's go with that. He says he's my friend, but I'm not sure that's true. It's not. Don't trust a word out of that man's mouth, says Sylvie. But I doubt he's the cat. The cat implies a certain level of two-facedness, but I don't think he possesses. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. This is really interesting. He's advising us. He's advising Jason that we shouldn't trust people close to us, but we can't doubt her. The dialogue options aren't allowing us, which is suspicious. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connected to some hidden enemy, says Sylvie. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be. Maybe we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. I'm judging by judging what you told me last night, those stones, carvings, seals, whatever that you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out, piece together what you can from your visions, and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? She questions. Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can find her there. The fact that our drive for Stella is being overwritten by something is really alarming. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. We're being compelled. Jason is no longer of sound mind. I think I felt something in the clinic. Bad stuff always happens around them. As soon as seek them out. As soon as seek more of them out, those stones do need to be left undisturbed. Probably you'd say. Probably he's going to say that one, to be honest. But bad stuff always happens around them, he counters. What happens around those stones might not be in any way close to what could happen if we let the danger encroach on both you and this town. What happens around the stones might not be in any way close to what could happen if we let the danger encroaching on both you and this town act unopposed, says Stella. The ditchlings are multiplying every day. This is only going to come to a head. It may just be a question of how prepared you are when it comes, she explains. Learning whatever you can could save your life, even if you're faced with more ghosts or ghouls along the way. I think that's all help I can offer, she says. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answer. Let's go that one. You helped me last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through the spirit's illusions, says Sylvie, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be little more than a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you, some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all that crouching. All you did was look at some leaves and tell me to go put myself in danger, you counter. I suppose you could see it that way, says Sylvie, but I hope I've done more than that, even if you don't realise it yet. Thank you again for humouring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sylvie gets up from the table, and you're escorted back to the door. Remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough, says Sylvie. She seems really focused on making us suspect someone. Though we can't suspect her, which is worrying. Sylvie closed the door to the tea room and the bells on its door strangely closes the door to the tea room. The bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearby empty grocery store. Yes, let's talk to Miles. Yeah, that's probably the one he wants to ask. Is your mum a witch? Says you say. Wouldn't you like to know? Says Miles. Yes, I would, you reply. Miles ignores you. Let's go with that one. Have you seen any weird rocks around town? Yeah, says Miles. You. He smirks. Clearly this is a very sick burn, and you should feel bested by his wit. So Kanika has a cold, you say? That's what she says. She's just trying to get out of work again, like I don't have anything better to do all week while she sits in her room watching anime. Says the guy in Goku pants, you point out. Everybody knows Dragon Ball is good anime. She watches the trashy shit, he counters. Yeah, he's probably not going to mention the ghost, and he's not going to bring up these old. Let's go with that one. No, I think he might actually. Ghost of Rio just thought you should know. Yeah, I know. I've seen tons of videos of ghosts doing stuff on the internet. I'm not 12. Let's go check on Kanika. You're not going anywhere before checking on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. You knock. You knock on Kanika's door. Mum, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just going to lie down for a while. I'm not your mum, you say. Oh, Jason, what's up? Can I come in? I was hoping we could spend a little more time together. Let's see. I need to talk to you. It's important. What is this one? I'm going to the clinic. I was hoping you'd join me, you say. Sorry, Jason. My mum was right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it, or I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. It looks like you're on your own. She seemed fine as she was going around town with us. You make your way out of the general store and down the road to the clinic. You make your way up to the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside the doctor's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. The side of the mountain looks really close to the terrace, maybe even close enough to jump. What are the odds that the terrace door is unlocked? This would have been easier yesterday, and your knees don't like the thought of jumping right now. But you're not about to let Charlie win like that. This is your body, and you're in control. Making that jump wouldn't be a problem. So we could try clambering in for the terrace, knock on Reese's basement window. You've aged at least a decade since last night, so you should see if Dr. Kelly can give you a checkup. That's probably the best way to get in. Just say, I need to see a doctor. You look terrible as is. But also the thing that we had to take into consideration, the amount of ditchlings now. As you can see, there's one in the bottom right-hand corner next to the mailbox, with the raccoon being wary of it. There's a couple to the left, bottom left, one in the sewer drain and one in the bushes above it. There's a lot around the windows of the house, and up near the front of the house as well. Actually, there's a surprising lot near the house. This may not bode well for us. We don't have the best track record of going into places that have a lot of ditchlings lurking outside, so this may get a bit of a issue for Jason, but we shall see. In next episode of Scarlet Hollow, episode 4, a Cornish Let's Play. Like and subscribe, it helps me a lot, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye, folks.